I'd like to call the town board meeting of the town of Lake Mills to order on this day, August 8th, 2017 at 8 p.m. The notice was posted at the town hall, the North End Boat Launch, and also on the cul-de-sac at Finch Brothers Road, and also on the town's website. Item 2 is the adoption of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve August agenda as printed.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda as published, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. The agenda is adopted. Item 3, approval of the minutes of the meeting of July 11th.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes from the July 11th meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Minutes of the July 11th meeting are approved. Item 4, the approval of the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to approve the August 2017 Treasurer's Report.
Second.
Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the August 2017 treasurer's report, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Treasurer's report is approved. Thank you, Sharon. Approval of the general funding vouching.
I'll make a motion to approve August disbursements for $100,787.46.
And I'll second that. Are there any questions?
No questions, just one comment on where Jeff did the work on Newville Road. I was kind of suspecting, I think we kind of talked around that $4,000 figure. So you see it's $4,500. Said he took 30 dump truck loads out of there.
Yeah.
Lee, did you have something?
Well, I just curious about the first two being QuickBooks Intuit. What's different from the other payroll? And
Sarah, what is it? These two, they were written in June, but they were, Samt wrote the check.
They just weren't direct deposit.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get
for
that stuff straightened
clean
out, all
boats,
those
clean
numbers
water.
and
Yeah.
stuff?
I think
okay.
so. I haven't heard any more
Gotcha.
about it.
All right.
I'll follow up though.
So we have a motion on the floor. All in favor of approving the disbursements for August, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Moving on, item 6 are the reports. A, Police Department report. Matt.
For the boat patrol in the month of July, we logged 131 and a half hours of boat patrol. We did 38 safety and compliant inspections of boats, issued 8 citations, and had 21 warnings on the lake. Nothing else of unusual on the lake to report. On the road, we logged 32 hours of road patrol, 12 hours of stationary radar, handled 4 calls for service for complaints, investigated 1 traffic crash, issued 17 citations and 8 warnings. That's about it.
Thanks, Matt. Are there any questions for our police chief? Hearing none.
I have one more.
Yes.
I'm sure that Red County knows, is a buoy missing by the trestle?
Yeah, we just got the report today, and he's picking it up on Friday.
Okay, it just disappeared?
It floated away. It must come unhooked
Okay.
and floated against a bank.
So you think that was by the trestle, Margaret?
I think that was.
I think
That's what he said.
we were missing a buoy last night out at the end of the reed bed on the west side, at the north end of the reed bed. So maybe we should I'll give Jerry a call and make
Okay,
sure
if you
that he
want.
knows that one's coming in.
Yep,
What'd you say, Friday?
Friday, Cody's picking it up.
Okay,
for the boat.
I'll make a note of that. And
It
then
was
Friday,
down by the trestle the other night.
the buoy was floating.
No, there was no buoy. I
Okay.
didn't see any buoy.
Okay. Hey, thanks. I'm surprised there aren't any comments or questions about the loud boat. I'm going to bring up the question about the loud boat.
Sure.
I've had a couple complaints about a loud boat operating on the weekends, and it is very loud. I've seen it in operation. I'm just wondering what's...
Cody Jepson's assigned it. He's already made contact with the operator of that boat. The 2 DNR wardens are coming out, they gotta bring a certified sound detection device to check the decibels. And if it's not in compliance, then Cody will take action at that time. So he's investigating it, and he's in this weekend.
Okay, great.
So you're just
super.
waiting to hear back from Pearl Wallace, or Warden's her last name.
Because there's special equipment. Explain that to me, Matt. There is a statute in the state that says there is a decibel level. Is it
86 decibels.
86 decibels is the maximum allowed noise from a boat emission?
Yep.
Okay.
But we have to have a certified decibel meter reader come out. The state's got one. We have to get the warden to do that. And she's calling in a second warden that's trained in it, so he's certified if it goes to court if we issue a citation.
Okay, great. Thank you for your follow-up on
Yep.
that. C, Planning Commission report.
Yes, we met on August 1st. We had 2 items. Technically, I guess it's showing 4 here, but it was 3 at the meeting. So we have Jeff and Lori Driesen coming in on 384 Sandy Beach on a lot line variance request and a lot coverage request. That passed 4-0. And then we also have Mike Wendt discussing a property at N6692. It's a rezone and parcel split. And that passed 3-1.
All right.
So that'll come up later as well. And that's all that was covered.
I did have some communication today with Steve Wilkie, city manager, and I'm asking him to do a joint meeting of the planning commissions. Whether I'll be able to accomplish that or not will be another story. But one way or another, he will either come to our meeting, or I think their meetings overlap, or we'll have a special workshop of some kind. So we can look forward to a little more information on that coming up in the next month or so. Sarah reminds me that I've skipped the Joint Rock Lake Committee report, but there's no one here from the Joint Rock Lake Committee, and I think we covered pretty much the lake issues, unless someone has another issue to bring up. Are there any other committee reports?
Nope.
I was kind of hoping that we could get that ETZ committee back in operation, or know exactly where that's all at when we meet with the city. I'm hoping that that'll
Try
come
to make an
together.
appointment with him again. We kind of put it off until we had some answers on body, but
Okay. Item 7, a period of public comment and questions for anything that is not on the agenda. This is the audience's time. If you have something that you would like to address the board with that is not on the agenda, you may use the podium at this time. Margaret?
Anything on Elm Point Road, any update?
No, but I did, we have a little problem with, well, it's more than a little problem. Oil sort of seeping through the seal coat that we did last year. And I did call a representative from Scott Construction. We have more Scott Construction work that we have bid and are making ready for this summer. And we have never had quality problems with them before, but I think you guys should take a look at it. On those hot days, some of that tar is seeping through the seal coating material, and at the cul-de-sac, it is sticky in a major way. So he said he would come out, and I'll keep you posted on that. I had another note from another resident, so
Okay, yeah, thank you.
keep you posted, Margaret.
Something should be done.
Well, especially since we're going to use them for many more projects this summer, and I don't think we can afford to have that kind of result.
I think that one of the issues, remember we talked about the snowplow going through, you know, taking the stones away, but there was actually a grader that came through early in the spring or summer or whatever, and took all the stones away, and that was really the topper for there was no stones to cover up the tar.
And the grader was for snow removal?
No, I think it was just doing stones. It was like in spring. It was getting the stones off the road.
Was that when we had our sweeping done?
Somebody said it wasn't a sweeper. I thought it was a sweeper, but it was an actual grader, like
Like a road grader.
yeah. that's where all most of the stones went. Maybe I have to ask that construction guy, or that road guy.
Well, if it was someone we hired, why would they be grading the road in the
I
spring,
don't know, but I suspected maybe it was more the brush removal, but when the stones disappeared, the cars started coming through.
Okay. Well, I'll look forward to talking with him in the next few days. He's pretty responsive, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else have another comment or questions? All right, we'll move on to item 8, application reviews. The discussion, A is discussion and decision on a request for a lot line variance request by Jeff and Lori Dreesen for 384 Sandy Beach Road. Jeff and Lori, do you want to present?
So the first variance is for the 75-foot setback off the high water mark, and we're requesting a 25-foot variance for that. And there was a map inside the packet to show kind of where that would fall as far as staying within kind of the line with the other homes in that area. I don't know if you have any questions on that one.
With this one.
We're only going to take one at a time, so
Yep.
we're going to deal with this one first.
Okay.
Do you have an extra map?
The ones from the engineer, or this is the map that I actually just,
Okay, 'cause I
you don't have that one?
No.
Oh, sorry, Dave.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
So we kind of measured from the high water mark, and where I have that 75-foot, that's where the house would actually start and then go back from there. So it would put us about 17 feet back from the other two houses.
There's some setback averaging.
I
Yeah.
I got a new set of
Deal in the middle.
decision sheets from the county that are worded a little bit differently. So that's why we now have 3 items on here instead of 2
Yeah, I
that
was
happened.
wondering about the 3 items.
That's how county zoning did it.
Okay.
Yeah. She's,
So there are actually 3 issues here we're going to deal with separately.
that's the way they're going to do it, so that's the way they want us to do it.
What do you feel, Jeff and Lori, what do you feel is the hardship?
Being 17 feet behind
The two
fronts
houses.
of the 2 houses beside us.
Are we talking about the lot line in the front or the lot line in the back? I think
It's
we're
really
talking,
not a lot line, it's the 75 feet
High water mark
required from the
setback.
high water mark for the new regulation by the DNR or the county.
and that is the request for the variance
Right,
for the lot line.
right.
Yep.
No, that's the Lakefront one.
55 feet puts us in alignment with the 2 houses by us.
Right. What's your pleasure, Jeff?
So then you're moving the structure just further to the south, right? So then what's that do to the back of the house? And does that push it closer to the Drumlin Trail, I'm assuming?
Well, actually I don't know if you have this one, but the plot. So this is how the house would.
Yeah.
So this is how the house would sit, right? So here's the 25 mark, and so here, we're within all the setbacks,
Okay.
except for the 75.
77.
Yep, so
Gotcha.
we're within all the
So there's some
setbacks.
setback averaging.
Thank you.
I would make a motion to approve the lot line variance request for Jeff and Lori Dreesen at 384 Sandy Beach Road. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right, is there some discussion?
I got a comment.
All right, I will allow you to make your comment.
Okay. The variance does not directly impact our property. However, by moving the house that far forwards toward the lake, it does restrict our view to the west, so we we like to enjoy the natural scenic beauty of the lake. Also, the house would not line up with properties to the east, since it would be much further toward the road. There is quite a difference, and it is the full width.
As the current house.
It's going to be,
This is not a time of discussion.
It is the full width of the porch they're going to put on, plus a couple more feet further out than ours.
All right, is there someone else who'd like to make a comment, since I've allowed him to make a comment? Discussion at this point in time is really for our board to make that decision, but if you would like to say something, now would be the time.
Do you want to read the supportive comments that came in?
Why don't you read them?
Okay. I have one, to whom it may concern, this letter is being drafted on behalf of Jeff and Lori Dreesen in support of their application to alter the setback requirements for the purpose of new construction on their property located at 384 Sandy Beach Road in Lake Mills. As a longtime local builder who has been involved in many projects around the lake, I'm concerned that the ordinance in question makes it extremely difficult to make any improvements to the properties on Sandy Beach Road. Over time, this could devalue the properties and make resale or rejuvenation even more difficult. Thank you for consideration, and work as board members, Christian Stibbs, Classic Homes and Remodeling. We, Michael J. Wolf, and Jane Heidel Schimmick, full-time residents of 356 Sandy Beach Road, are writing to you on behalf of Jeff and Lori Dreesen, whose home is located at 384 Sandy Beach Road. It is our understanding that the Dreesens seek a variance in order to place their new home 75 feet from the high water mark. Doing so will keep their house in alignment with the other homes along Sandy Beach Road. We strongly support the Dreesens in seeking this variance, as we do not wish to have a consistent appearance of the neighborhood disturbed. We've reviewed the Dreesens' plan for their new home, feel it a welcome addition to the neighborhood. And then she writes again, my mistake, the ordinance is 75 feet, we just want them to be in line with the neighbors. And then John Wright, my wife Pamela and myself have been full-time residents for 17 years at 398 Sandy Beach Road, which is located 3 lots away from the Dreesen property at 384 Sandy Beach Road. We view the Dreesens' plan to construct a new home at 384 as a positive action in the neighborhood. Both strongly support the Dreesens in seeking the variance concerning the setback from Rock Lake's high water mark. If this variance goes ungranted, it would cause the new home under consideration to have the lake-facing and road-facing facade significantly out of line with the 11 other homes along Sandy Beach Road. This would contribute to a look of discriminant and disorganized zoning in the neighborhood. By granting this variance, the appearance of the neighborhood established decades ago will continue unchanged, which is the main reason we support the request. We are ready to support the Dreesens at any necessary public forum or meeting.
Thank you. Is there any more comments? Does anyone on the board have anything they'd like to say? Hearing none. Then, all in favor of supporting the motion for the lot line variance for Jeff and Lori Dreesen at 384 Sandy Beach Road, please say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, please say no. No. Obviously, that has carried. Item B, discussion and decision on the lot coverage variance request for Jeff and Lori Dreesen at 384 Sandy Beach Road. Lori, do you have anything you want to add to this?
I'll just give you an update. Today, our engineer and Rob from zoning and Matt from zoning had a conference call just to talk about the 2 plans that you have, which came from Quam Engineer. So there was the current and then the upcoming. So in that discussion, they talked about the mitigation plan, and that's going to be talked about on Thursday. So that's kind of where we're at with the zoning department.
So you have no mitigation plan in hand?
Yeah, they stated, apparently Rob and Matt talked about, this is kind of a new thing for them as well, so they're trying to make sure that they're sending us down the right path as far as what we need to mitigate this property, as far as it be a rain garden or, so he said it would be brought up on Thursday. Because we've already improved the impervious surface by about 22% by going to what we're going to be building. So we've already added some value there. So they're trying to see if number one, if we need to do anything more, or what that would be.
And so you have no mitigation plan in hand tonight?
We do not.
All right. And are you prepared to have that for the zoning committee on, what day is it?
It's on Thursday,
Thursday.
and that's what they talked about, because we were trying to get that prepared for them, but they told us to wait till Thursday's meeting. So we're kind of taking their direction
All right,
on that.
that's good.
Yep.
All right. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the lot coverage variance.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on the part of the public? Go ahead.
The engineer's drawing was presented to the Plan Commission last week, shows the impervious area to be 46.2%. In 2009, the Jefferson County Zoning Board ruled that the Coopers need to build up from the same footprint so that the 30% lot coverage was not exceeded. And enlarging the footprint was not an option. What has changed since then to allow this type of increase?
I'll fill that one. The footprint he's talking about at the house and the garage, we are actually underneath the current footprint for the current house and garage. This one, we are under the 30%. Number C there is the one where the stormwater really comes into play. But we are definitely under 30% for the house and garage structure.
All right.
That's why I'm not sure where that one came from, but we were in compliance with that last time we met.
Anyone on the board have anything to say? I guess I'll make a comment. I feel very unsure of this without this mitigation plan. I think we got the cart in front of the horse, and I guess I'd like to see that. If this passes tonight, I definitely will be following through with the county zoning office to make sure that this protects what we have in place down there.
Now, we're going to get the town engineer to review this at all? Our town engineer? Well, that was brought up at last week's meeting.
What would we have the town engineer get involved in?
Well, I know that Steve mentioned that perhaps get this, town engineer to review, because we're not engineers. And
We
don't-
are not engineers.
and-
That's why I feel so very unsure without the mitigation plan in place. Making a local decision is very important, I guess, to me, that we make good local decisions and then we pass them on to the county. I still feel we have the cart in front of the horse. But that's only my opinion.
I have another comment if I could.
Go ahead.
The lots in this area are small and substandard size. I fail to see where a lot can support, the small lot can support a 2,550-foot square house with 4 bedrooms,
It's not.
2 full baths, 2 half baths, a screen porch in front, and a 2-car garage with storage.
Can I make a comment? It is not a 4-bedroom house. I don't know where he got his information, but
Got a lot of bad information.
it's 3-bedroom house, and it is not that many square feet. And can I make one just a general comment? We know that the lots down there are all small sizes. But I think as neighbors, we all need to tread lightly, right? God forbid a tornado, fire destroys somebody's cottage or house down there. Every one of those houses they would be in front of you the same as we are, because they would need those variances. So I think they need to tread lightly, because they're going to need support just as we are trying to accomplish this. And as far as the mitigation plan goes, we have gone 110% with the zoning board. We have done everything they've asked us to do, hire an engineer, and so we are trying to do our best to, to accomplish what they're asking us to do. So.
Unless the house plan has changed in the last week, I am referring to the drawing that has been filed in the Jefferson County zoning office.
It's been
That
changed
says
again.
4 bedrooms,
It is not 4 bedrooms.
2 full baths, and 2 half.
Rob had asked me to cut the size down to meet all the lot setbacks. and we did that. So he does not have a new current home plan. So what we've done is just made the house smaller and to fit the footprint within the setbacks. It is a 3-bedroom house. And in order to get a permit, they are going to have to see those plans.
So this print here that I've gotten from the,
It's not correct.
is not correct.
Does
How
anyone
many
else?
square feet you have now?
The footprint is 1916.
That's the important part.
No, how many square foot house is that?
The square feet is 1916 on the footprint. And the upstairs,
Okay, we don't know.
we had to cut it back, and so it's not been put on the paper yet.
1916 and 1916.
It isn't, it's not over the garage.
2800.
The garage is now attached to the house?
It always has been. And there is no storage above, there's no bedrooms above, so it's,
We have a motion on the floor. Is everyone completed with their discussion? You guys have anything else to say? Call the question then. All in favor of approving the lot coverage variance for Jeff and Lori Dreesen at 384 Sandy Beach Road, please say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Aye. It still passes. I'm disappointed that we, again, have the cart in front of the horse. I think we should have complete house plans and a mitigation plan. I understand that you're working with the zoning office, but that does not preclude having your details in order for a local decision. Item C is a discussion and decision on impervious surface variance request by Jeff and Lori Dreesen for 384 Sandy Beach Road. Lori?
We just talked about that one.
yeah, I guess, because that was part of the engineering, that's why we hired the engineer. So again, the impervious surfaces, that conference call today was to talk about that, and it was going to be brought up in the Thursday's meeting, is what we were
What
told.
do you have, Sarah, from the zoning office?
But they're not
Just
gonna
the
do
decision
anything.
sheet, and they're on the agenda for Thursday, saying mitigation plan shall be submitted as part of this request.
I just feel like we're not covering the bases here.
And also the Board of Adjustments was going to make a visit if they hadn't already.
Yeah, Robert, yeah, they're coming, yeah. mhm.
All right, is there a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to, for the impervious surface variance for Jeff and Lori Dreesen at 384 Sandy Beach.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion on the part of the board?
What is actually the definition of the impervious surface? So they're talking you can only have so much concrete, the
Correct.
rest of it has to be.
Yep,
a
so what they
spot
might
or something.
recommend is maybe a rain garden in the back,
Sure.
or something other than cement for the driveway.
Right.
So
So say-
those would be probably the two big things.
Sure. Which your engineers addressing all that, right?
Yep, yep, and it's on that sheet of what they were hired to do.
Do they have
Right.
that?
The scope of services is right there. Mhm.
Do they have the
What is
drawing?
that?
Yeah, they have the drawings. Yep. You do have the drawings, correct?
I have,
Two of them from Mom Engineer.
Yeah, do you have the ones from Quam?
no, I have this.
Oh. Yeah, because I gave these to the plant. So these are what the engineer came up with. And so here's the current, so you'll see the house, and this will be the new, and we're doing, this is all cement, and we're cutting it down to 1-car path, and then the 2-car garage. And so you can see this is, and then there's a garage over here, so this, and there's a big cement pad here. This will be gone, this will be gone, and this will be gone. And then we had the impervious ratios. So
Okay,
again,
yeah,
with the
that's-
new, it was like a 20-some percent, which Steve Nash spoke of last week.
Right, yep.
He liked
Yeah.
because it was cutting that down, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can you make some copies of those so you guys
Yeah.
can all have a copy? There's some interesting numbers in there.
You're going to leave these with us, right?
Yeah.
You have a copy?
I do.
All right, so we can make copies afterwards. All right, we have a motion on the floor for a decision on this impervious surface variance. Are you ready for a vote? All in favor of approving the variance for impervious surfaces for Jeff and Lori Dreesen at 384 Sandy Beach, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign, aye. This carries too. I'm just going to say one thing. I know for a fact that you guys are sharing a well, you have a shared well agreement. I think that it's time that you spoke with your neighbors and made a better neighbor for everyone when it comes to this well. I don't want to see this become an issue in the future. I will look forward to the details that come forward from the variance board and from the zoning board. But please mend those fences before you go forward.
We do not have a shared well today. Excuse me?
There's a
Well,
shared well
we're-
agreement.
We're not sharing the well today.
Correct.
That's right.
And they know that.
That's a difference.
All right, item D, discussion and decision on a request for rezone of split parcel by Mike Wendt for N6692 Crowville Road, Waterloo. Hello,
Hey there.
how are you, Mike?
I'm great. Should say Mike and Caitlin one. My wife figured that. I'm
Okay,
gonna add this to it. That's my fault.
thank
This
you.
is what I handed out last time. I don't think it's in there.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. First, all right. So, first page. Obviously, I had to go back to the planning commission twice because I got some wrong information. Basically, all it shows is the comprehensive plan. The town of Lake Mills, according to Jefferson County, property anything over 40 acres of the farmland has been split before you should be able to get 3 buildable lots. I found out that the town of Lake Mills is more restrictive, which is okay, that's why I had to go back. And now I'm only asking for 1 buildable lot and then also a final consolidation. Per Mark Anderson of Anderson Land Surveying, we're looking to create a plus or minus 5 acre A3 farm consolidation lot to include the existing septic bed and forced main. That's on page 3. You can see that it's a pretty extensive main to the septic, mainly because that part is just lower water area, basically floods. Like when they moved it into the hill to where it was going to perk conventional. And then the second is to create a 2 acre A3 non-prime building site utilizing access off a town road instead of Highway B at the point of minimal impact to the prime farmland. And the majority of the lot is non-prime and clustered with the non-tillable wooded pasture area of 20 to 30% slopes. So this page kind of shows you the 2 that I'm looking for. I'm looking for the farm, just basically the corner off, and then over here on Crowville Road, looking for the 2 acre buildable lot. I would like to point out too that on this acre lot, this is actually my neighbor's driveway that's about 15 feet from there. That goes to the south. So in this picture that you see, you only see a portion
That house is way
of the
down
lot.
here.
That's why I brought this up, to show where the rest of it is. Obviously, there's a majority of it that's south of where the property's actually being built. And I think this is the best picture, because I think when people are having, why am I building what I'm building? This kind of shows you the lot is very unique. If you haven't driven on 34, it's basically built almost on like a peak or a plateau. So on both sides of it, it almost comes up like this. That's why it hasn't been purchased, because the farmer doesn't want to purchase it, and the farmhouse is in a dilapidated state and it needs major restoring, basically, which I plan to do and then sell it off. So That's kind of what I'm asking for, is the farm consolidation for the 5 plus or minus 5 acres on the second buildable lot, where I will build my property, and I also already do have a rental agreement with the previous farmer, so I plan to keep 100% of the farmland, agricultural use as is, minus the building lot that's being put in there, where the driveway's going over, basically.
So is that forced main, is that septic system in there right now?
Yes.
It is, okay.
As being used, I guess it was rented out with the total about 2 years ago.
Because they actually, you know, Jefferson County changed their accessory land divisions to the 5 acres because sometimes some of the farm buildings were spread to the point where 3 acres would not encompass the buildings. So these buildings here, you know, really don't encompass 5 acres. I can understand the reason, you know, for you wanting to take the accessory land division for 5 acres to put the septic system on the same property. Other than your last request was an easement, so I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is where you have your lot. I don't think that's going to fly. In my opinion, because one, you're interrupting, you know, the farmland, so there's going to have to be, you know, your driveway and 2 field driveways, and it's all right on the curve.
The field driveway's already on the curb there, between my driveway and the neighbor's driveway.
Okay. I tell you the truth, you know, in my opinion, you know, I'm only one person here, but if I was you, what I would look at is, you know, if you stuck with the 5 acres for the accessory land division, and you could do one of 2 things. Come off of Highway B right next to the W9057, and you could curl up along the east fence line up into the pasture area, which would give you a 430-foot driveway, which you'd be allowed up to 660 feet. And then you could then put your, you know, you'd have about 1.5 acres or so you could put your building site. And then you could take the rest of this old pasture and hillside where it's steep, non-prime, and you could put that into a natural resource if you want. So it'd give you kind of a neat little package right there. Or the other thing is, right here where your accessory land division is, would be to couple up the new lot right to the south of those buildings, and that would give it, either one of those 2 options would give it a cluster, rather than putting out in the middle. What we had in Jefferson County years ago is you'd have to have 35 acres to build a house.
Mm-hmm.
So people are going out and they were building the house and they were putting a diagonal driveway across the 35 acres,
Mm-hmm.
and then it made the rest of the property not farmer friendly. So it'd just grow up to stuff.
Yeah.
So that was one of the reasons why Jefferson County had a text amendment to cluster the building sites to keep as much green space as you possibly can. So I don't know, that's my feeling and my suggestion. I don't know if you've looked at any of that stuff.
I did. I initially had one coming off B. The issue is there's certain driveway frontage, I think 500 or some feet from an intersection, and you're right on that. I don't know if you can get there, to be honest with you. Here's the other issue. There's a 20% slope where I was going to put it, and then also your house is almost getting built pretty close to where a septic is venting. And really the 20% slope was the biggest issue. Here was the other part too, is what I was trying to, and we went over this last time, is that this is prime farmland, what you're looking to take up and build a house right here. And granted, I understand that I'm coming over further, but then there's also a driveway here, so I don't know if I guess And then what I was trying to understand is what's more important, clustering houses or protecting prime farmland? And then is clustering considered with driveways or is it clustering with houses? Because the driveway, my neighbor's driveway will be 10 feet from me. But if you would let me cluster there, then maybe I could just build down here next to his driveway.
Clustering is building sites. So really, if you build out in the middle, that's not a cluster.
At all.
That's an island out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Even if it gets up into the tree land, because I know that they've had issues before where they're able to cluster with non-prime farmland too, and that's kind of where the trees are coming out. The issue is that it's a very unique property. And if you would drive out there and look at it, you can see that basically when you look at it, it's a big slope. It's a big slope. That's all it is. And if you would look at the farmhouse, I think you would agree that you wouldn't want to build, your future 40-year home right next to it either. And I understand that you can't probably take that into consideration. I mean, it's very difficult. The B option isn't going to work with the driveway and the slopes. I know it because we looked at it. The other one, possibly, if you want to use the most farmland. But here's the other issue. We kind of ran into it also in that you might be closer to that 3/4 of an acre in prime farmland, which Jefferson County doesn't allow you to do. You can't do that with a driveway. You can do it with your house, but not with the driveway. And Pete and I ran those numbers. And that's why I know it's not the greatest, and it's not what Jefferson County is going to want to see, but there has been property like this that's passed before, clustering with the non-prime farmland, because there's not a better spot for it. So that's what I tried to say is B's not an option. You can build right in the middle of the prime farmland, but then, is that a great option either? At least this one, I mean, I could probably even get up into the woods. Granted, you're going to have the driveway, but I'm telling you, if you drive out there right now, you would see that what you were talking about, that farmer's entrance, it's already there. They're already using it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Basically because he doesn't want to drive up the hill, so he just goes in straight.
Well, and that's how they access the lower part of the field. I used to live on this road for 15 years, so I went by that thing 2 and 3 times a day, so it's not I've been at that rodeo.
So they're not planting good crops up where I'm building, let's put it that way. If anything, it's hay to feed. And you can kind of see that from the drawing here, that obviously all the good stuff is right here. That's where they have the prime stuff built. I mean, you could even bring the driveway over closer, but that's what I'm looking for. And to put the driveway next to that farmhouse, I don't think it's going to work. Because you're definitely not going to get up into the woods.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you on a couple points there. One, because if you take the whole north section of that and use it for 5 acres for accessory land division, that encompasses some prime farmland. If you put a driveway at the end, Jefferson County will allow you up to 666 foot long by 66 feet wide to get to that, which would be, that would be your cluster if everything was at the north end of the property.
You sure you can use prime farmland for that driveway?
Well, what are you doing down here in the corner?
Well, it's under 3/4 of an acre though, because most of the driveway is going to be pretty close to 3.
You're allowed up to 1 acre.
I think it's 2/3, but I can verify. I was wrong last time I came in there.
So that's my opinion. I don't think it fits the land use very well.
And I too have driven by it and looked at it, driven by it many, many times. Never really thought about that slope.
It is a hill. You're going to go tobogganing.
And I understand when you were first in front of the planning commission, I don't know if it was your realtor or who it was, but said, oh, no problem with the driveway onto County Highway B. I disagree with that. I think there's a bigger issue there, getting permission from the highway department to do that. I agree with Dave that I think I would like to see that clustered. When you said at the planning commission you didn't want to look down at an old farmstead, well, that's what rural living is all about.
Yeah.
Looking down at an old farmstead.
I understand, but if you own 40-some acres,
Yeah, well, I
mean,
guess
there's
that's
a
how I
legitimate
feel.
reason to build where I want to build, is all I'm saying. And, Jefferson County is going to, have their opinion the way that they want it. I mean, I'll get skinnier and go up into the woodlands. I got no problem with that. I don't even have a problem coming closer, but to put the driveway immediately right after those buildings, I don't think it's going to work. I mean, I don't have a problem coming down a little bit further and then flagging up, closer over there. either way, the driveway, I mean, it's gonna go through some land, I guess.
Well, I'm thinking we need to deal with what we have in front of us tonight. Don't you agree? That we deal with the drawing that he has made for us?
Yeah, that's what's being presented.
Unless there's some design decision made on the fly, I think we need to consider what you have put before us tonight, Mike, and go back from there.
Well, I understand that. I guess my last point is, I think last time I was in here, I kind of made the point too that this is an accepted offer contingent upon the building the way it is.
And a lot of real estate deals are that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not uncommon.
So, I mean, I'm already losing 2 acres. The 1 acre, I could have sold probably for 120 grand. So this is basically what me and my wife have come up with. I'll get closer to the farmland, and I think I brought this up last time. There's obviously a budget issue, with the Lake Mills. The house, the $500,000 house we're going to build is going to bring in about $10,000. We're going to solve 25%. We got 3 kids. My wife's a principal. I was the chamber president for 8 years. I mean, you guys are looking for people to get on these boards. I know they're not trying to get in here. These are the type of people that you want to come to your community. And I'm not asking you to pass something that's not legitimate, but I'm just trying to say you got to fight for something that you want. And this is what we're doing. And I don't want to be rude, but to put a driveway next to that farmhouse and build up there, we're probably going to look somewhere else. I just want to be honest with you, not to put you on the spot, but that's just how we feel. And I'll work a little bit, but I feel like when I show this, I don't know what the cluster has to be in like a foot, but obviously there's a lot of houses and the driveway's right next to it. It's not like I'm putting a driveway in the middle of a cornfield out in the middle. There's going to be one 10 feet from me, my neighbor's driveway. And the reason that this house hasn't sold is because it's not big enough for a farmer, and the house is so dilapidated, no one wants to live in it. So it's going to take a unique individual, someone that can fix the house up, sell it, bring in more tax revenue, and then build a nice house and grow a family here for 30 years. I'm not looking to make money. I'm just trying to get a nice building spot for an affordable price. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't have a problem taking this to the Jefferson board either. I think I put enough together with recent land splits that I think this is going to go through, especially with the non-woods. And I've actually had a couple of the plus or minus 5s with the septic fields included without the barns out there. But I know that was brought up too, but I've done my homework. I should have brought it tonight. I guess I didn't know. I thought maybe you guys would take the planning commission's votes a little, but I know you have your own, agenda too, so I can be respectful of that. But, I guess Jefferson County, let me go there and see what I can do.
Hey, yeah, give it a shot.
So, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mike. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the rezone and parcel split by Mike Wendt at N6692 Crowville Road, Waterloo.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? Just for information purposes, we are working from this document that says at the bottom, sheet 2 of 2, 1735. So this is the plan that we are working from tonight. Correct?
Correct.
All right. Is there any other discussion?
I'll just note that I know Steve wasn't necessarily a fan of this as well, and he's on the county, so you'll be seeing him again.
Yes.
When it comes to this. But I understand what you're coming from, and if I were to purchase this property myself and build a house like you're planning on doing, it'd be pushing the same
Thank you.
location. So
I appreciate that.
I like Dave's idea of protecting the rest of the land with a conservation easement. I think that's a real plus for what I was advocating for. I would like to see that lot come off of Crowville Road near the old farmstead and flag up that way. I think coming off of B is really difficult, so.
And you could do that because it would just be, instead of 430 feet, it would be 513, and you still could get up, on the, that's all that's there, and that would be allowed.
Are there any other comments? Hearing none, we will have a vote. All in favor of approving the rezone and parcel split as presented by Mike Wendt for N 6692 Crokeville Road? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign.
Aye.
So, Mike, I guess you just take this as you want to.
Okay.
Maybe a little more discussion with the zoning office. I'm sure we'll be crossing paths again.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's not that we don't want to welcome your neighborhood.
No.
And you know what, just like
Try to be
Steve said last
consistent
week, you know,
if we can.
our job is not to encourage development and to bring in cash to the coffers of the town of Lake Mills. Ours is a planning and public safety job. Not any, has nothing to do with the kind of people we would like to have here, or the amount of money they spend, or the type of house they build. That is not our job. Our job is to support our plan, do the best we can as far as planning goes, protect public safety, and you make a very valid point. What
do. I do appreciate that.
what is more important, the protection of farmland or the clustering of houses?
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, item E, discussion and decision on a request to hold a special event by Race Day Events for the Ride on September 17th, 2017.
I don't think they're gonna be here tonight. I didn't hear.
Okay,
Got the application, but I didn't get a
all right.
commitment.
This is the same day as the...
No, it's the day before.
It's the day before? Mm-hmm. All right. I guess I looked at all the paperwork. I was just thinking it was the same day.
I did too. I double checked it 3 times. So I guess that's triple check.
Is this a ride that comes through here just occasionally, or?
This is our first time. And it is a coordinator that does the Lake Mills Triathlon. So we've dealt with the organizers before, just not with this particular event.
You guys have any questions about the route? Says it's non-competitive, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a fundraiser. They're coming through,
lots of riders.
what, I'm trying to do the math here, but what, 10,
8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
no, I mean, how many miles? It's what, 20
Oh.
miles? Mile 21 to mile 39.4. They're coming right through downtown. So they were waiting to get those approvals before they came to us.
County Highway, Mud Lake G, Old Gridsky, 134. 134 going to be done by then?
I've got some correspondence on that. Thought maybe.
Okay. All right, I would make a motion to approve a request for a special event by Race Day Events for the Ride on September 17th.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the Race Day event, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same side.
I'm sure Ryan will appreciate not having to come at 8 o'clock at night.
All right.
Again.
On to item F, discussion and decision on a request to hold a special event by Jeffrey Baumgartner on September 23rd, 2017. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hello, hello.
I wasn't sure what to do with this one. That's why you don't have anything in your packet.
Yeah.
We've been corresponding a little bit. Yeah. Go ahead if you want to talk about it.
So, Paradigm Production is out of Cambridge. It's a friend of mine. He has a band he wants to shoot a music video for, and they want to use my property. So we figured we would hold a full concert along with the video. 4 p.m. till no later than 11 p.m. As far as number of people, maybe 100, maybe 150.
And he's talking about his personal residence here, not the bar.
Correct.
Which is why I wasn't sure if it needed a special event permit or not.
I know we had discussed licensing that property for liquor sales. It would obviously, I would prefer to, it's not going to be a raging party. I don't know if there's an amendment to the license I hold currently we could use just for that single purpose. Um, But it's kind of a three-way favor deal. The production company for the band for me, I provided the property. I'm kind of the only one out of the loop as far as,
Where's this band from?
Milwaukee.
You know, Jeff, I don't want to rain on your parade, but just a major concern that we kick around at the Cambridge Fire Commissioner meetings is your access to your property. The Cambridge fire inspector, he is just adamant, dead set against not recommending anything across that bridge due to the weight that the bridge would handle and access and parking plan and those sort of things. I guess, you know, that comes to my mind. Not that, you know, I don't know if we want Woodstock in the town of Lake Mills, but
No, I wouldn't. He told me something different when he was there. That's the first I've heard of that. The bridge is, relatively speaking, new. I know when we bought the property from the rest of the family, the old bridge that, you know, milk trucks crossed wasn't good enough, so that went down, the new one went up. I could get you the rating numbers for it, and get him the rating numbers for it, but I find it hard to believe it would have been installed and then the insurance approved.
yeah, I don't know, you know, and you're right about, you
Take it
know,
out.
that was a dairy herd back there, and the milk truck went bad.
But be that as it may, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
The old bridge is gone, the new bridge is
Right,
there.
yeah, which is better, so.
It certainly is. I could get you the specs on it, or get him the specs on it. This is the first I've heard of an issue with
Those are just his
the fire
concerns that
inspector.
he brought up.
Who was it that said that?
His name is Freitag.
That's the Cambridge fire inspector?
Yes, yeah.
But you would be serviced by Cambridge.
Yeah, I know that. What's his first name?
You know,
Okay.
I know, but
Okay.
And you know, I'm not a liquor license expert. I've done a little reading on it, but I'm not sure there is a one-day permit for an extension of your license. I think your license goes along with your premise and is not transferable
Yep.
to another location.
Right, okay, so, and this may be for another time, I know I had touched base with Sarah months ago in regards to getting the ball rolling to get that license on the books. She wasn't sure on what the fees would be, and I hadn't heard back from that. So, in regards, is the event off the table on account of the fire?
I know that was just the only thing that came to my mind, you know, was our conversations at the fire commission meetings. So, you know, hey, I'm off for a party.
If I decide that I want to have a party at my house, I first of all got to deal with parking because I don't have any parking. I suppose that you would be able to accommodate that parking
Yes.
somehow. But the point is that I wouldn't be able to sell alcohol at my party because I don't have a liquor license and I don't have a licensed operator serving that alcohol. I just don't know how that would work. I don't know of any other instances where a license has been granted for one day for an event, unless it's done by I've read through this a million times, by a club or something like
Right,
that,
I
you know.
Yeah,
And we certainly have granted a party permit for the London Depot many years in a row. They didn't come to us this year for a street party.
Right, well, this would be obviously something completely different.
Yeah.
It's in the newly rezoned property across the bridge.
What do you mean newly
Yeah,
rezoned?
newly rezoned. What,
I was here a year ago, or when it was.
Oh, yeah, when you were gonna do the barn?
Right.
But all that zoning entails lots of checklist of improvements that have to be made on that barn,
Right.
for safety. And
Right.
again, that's really all I'm concerned
Well,
about.
this would be using just the concrete, not the building. Just the outside of it. We would be outside.
As far as that license, I think we talked at some point about a new license is $10,000, and would it be a whole new license, or would it be some sort of second location? I don't know the details of that.
I don't either. I guess that's a Department of Revenue question that we would need to be taking up with them. That doesn't help you. We do have one more meeting before your party, Jeff, but that doesn't help you get the word out, does it?
No.
I suppose you wouldn't have much of a party if you didn't have some beer, huh?
Bring your own.
yeah, bring your own. Right across the street, carried in.
Right, and that's, an option.
It is an option.
Sell a wristband.
Well, that's what I was wondering. How do the places in town do that with fundraisers and things?
Well, they're organized groups, They're organized groups that have a one-time event, like the Sons of the American Legion. We've kind of been through this a couple of times. There's a clause. Isn't that a Class B?
I was thinking, it's not picnic.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But you're not really a bona fide club, and that's what it says, the
Yeah, I understand.
Holstein Herders or the Dog Catchers Group or the Union 734, the Sons of the American Legion. I think we've been through this.
Yeah.
We could do some checking if you're still adamant about it. I think you could come back to us in our September meeting, but that's cutting the dates pretty short here.
Who is the contact at the Department of Revenue now? I know it changed a couple
It's
years ago.
on my desk at home.
Okay. Because I remember talking to, I think it was the guy before him, when the barn came up, and trying to figure out if across the street worked or not.
Well, let's get a motion on the floor here and figure this out.
I'll make a motion to approve Jeffrey's request to hold a special event on his
September.
residence on the west side of Highway O.
Correct.
All right. I'll second it. Is there discussion?
I have zero objections of, you having a party. And I think it's good that you called Sarah, because, you can have friends and family, but then when you open it up to the public, then that definitely, triggers it for a special event.
Yeah, I didn't want to try and fly under the radar.
Yeah.
I wanted to be up front.
Yeah. He would have came out there probably. So, I don't know if we, I don't know, what do you guys think if I don't want to hold them up from, lining the thing up if we throw some provisions on this thing of, what's he going to do for safety? You're going to have a Band-Aid tent or something?
Should we have him fill out the actual special event form
Yeah,
at the
with
start?
insurance.
Yep.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Fee and everything.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And then in the meantime, we make a call to the Department of Rev and figure out where that special
Sarah,
picnic
the
license
special
is
event
at.
form,
I sent it to you in that email.
it's in the box though.
Oh!
Along
Okay.
with a check or whatever that's worth.
Well, then you already have that part done.
Okay.
And
Okay,
we just have to figure out what the liquor license entails.
Okay.
all right, we have not voted on this motion, so, did you want to add anything to it, Dave?
I guess what I'd add to it is, your September 23rd, if you could come back with your format of what you're going to put in place for safety, what you're going to put in for safety, and I know you said about 100 people. Draw a picture of your buildings, like Hope says, where are you going to park and how are you going to organize it, because it would really be tough if it turned into be a disaster, and we don't. You don't want that. We don't want that.
No, I don't.
So if you could do that, that would be.
Click through the special events permit, it covers most of that
Yeah, he did it
stuff.
already, he said, but except that I'm sure you don't have the certificate of insurance included in that
No.
because we just talked about it.
Right.
So there would be that piece of it.
Click through that, and then we'll put this on our September agenda, and we'll go from there.
Does he have hours on there? I mean, there's
Yeah,
no
4
overnight
p.m. to
camping or
11.
anything
4
like
to
that,
11.
right?
No, 4 to 11.
Yeah.
Just keep in touch with me
I'll
as you get your plans solidified.
Yeah. If is it better, like, okay, for parking, I mean, I understand that you don't want blockage of access to where anything's happening, right?
Right.
So, pretty confident.
I mean, you have some fields right around there.
Yeah, I want to make sure when you
Where
talk
would you
about.
like the cars to be?
Well, I'd have to see an aerial photo.
Yeah.
Someplace where it's easy access.
I know
easy
exactly what you're
internet.
talking. Yep.
So that you can get an emergency
Exactly,
vehicle in
yeah.
there and
That
out
would-
if you need to, or,
You'd want hindrance to get to.
and if you have to think about weather considerations, how you would deal with weather safety.
Sure. Would you like specs on that bridge if I can scare them?
Actually, that would
That'd
really
be
be
very
good
helpful.
because I would have to pass that along to the other commissioners, which we have a meeting coming up here pretty soon. So that would be great if you would, because that was one of his questions.
Okay, so basically you want a tonnage rating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I know I have that somewhere.
All right, we have a motion on the floor.
Could you email that to Sarah, and then she could get it to me, because we're still, haggling over when our meeting's going to be. It's either going to be the end of this month or the first couple days of September. So.
I can do that.
All right. Thank you.
You got it.
All right, discussion, we have a motion on the floor for this special event for Jeff Baumgartner. We have made several requests of him, which would be included in your minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you ready to vote on this?
Sure.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay, all right.
Let's roll.
All in favor of approving the special event on September 23rd, 2017 for Jeff Baumgartner, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. We appreciate you coming, Jeff.
Yeah.
We'll work
we
through
really
the
do.
rest of these details.
You got it.
I think the bridge details would be very helpful for Dave in his fire commission work. He is
Yeah,
our
you got
rep,
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of that, and for 40 grand, I think they probably built it
Yeah.
to specs. I mean, I get where he's coming from, but for goodness sakes, I mean,
Been that way from time on.
yeah, and as far as the old one, it was
That
rickety.
may be
And
what
it
he-
Yeah, it was.
So
It was wood and
when we changed hands, that's why the insurance company said nothing's happening until this
Sure.
is taken care of. So,
Yeah.
boom.
And you have to understand where they're coming from too.
Sure.
They take a look at the site, they're thinking hoses, drop boxes, and how they're going to organize, how they're going to get in and out. So they have
Yeah.
to go through that, and it's all you pay for the protection. So
I want protection.
you betcha.
I'd
All
like
right.
to not burn the place down.
It's raining.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Item G, discussion and decision on a liquor license for Lori Ann Berger, Lake Mills Travel Plaza. Is this a license or an operator's license?
Operator license.
I thought so.
I deleted the wrong part of that
All right, that's
item.
good. Matt, you had a chance to check on her?
I did, I saw nothing that would,
All right.
that information right now.
I would make a motion to grant an operator's license for Lori Ann Berger for the Lake Mills Travel Plaza.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the license, please say aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried. Number 9, old business. Update on 2017 road work. Discussion and decision as needed. Oh, geez, where are we at? Let's see.
I'm sorry, I didn't have time to do the update, but the only thing we paid for this time was the
Ditching.
ditching. $4,500.
So, the first thing on the agenda, as far as I'm concerned, is we were on the phone earlier this evening with Jay Ames. He is finishing up the pothole patching, long
Awesome.
overdue, but that should be completed tomorrow.
Did,
What?
did he do Mud Lake Road too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mud Lake Road is done. The ditching on Mud Lake Road that we wanted to do is not complete.
Yeah, that should be done. Jeff was running a little bit behind, and he figures.
So he's still gonna do that?
Yeah, he figured it was gonna be about a week, week and a half, and this would be, you know, the first week. So I'm assuming.
Do you think that we should be doing some seeding in that ditch on Newville Road?
I don't think not at this time. I think let the construction get done.
And we'll wait and do
I
it
think
afterwards?
Gravel's gonna be maybe rolling to, hopefully not into the flow line, but there's a couple things we'll have to address there. We probably have to throw some seed in there, maybe some rocks at the end, right where it goes into the ditch. And then those trees, we'll definitely have to do some of those trees because obviously they got weakened a little bit by
mess.
carving some of the roots off, but I think that's more of a winter project when there's
Right.
no leaves and stuff. And maybe Carol will even take the wood.
Okay. All right, so then the update on Newville is I did have a conversation with Scott.
Payne Dolan.
Payne and Dolan, sorry, Payne and Dolan. They are looking at the last couple weeks of August, and Sarah and I are poised to send out that letter. I think you told them there's something's coming.
I did.
They all know something's coming. And then the Scott construction update is I did call him about the oil on Elm Point. He is poised when he comes to the city of Lake Mills the last couple weeks in August to do the cul-de-sac areas off of Shorewood Hills Road, which includes Cedar Lane, Sunset Lane, Upper Shorewood Hills Road, all those little feeder roads onto Shorewood Hills Road, and those have all been patched. Scott Construction also milled and resurfaced with cold asphalt Conservation Road. And if you haven't seen that, you
I
should
haven't seen it.
take a look
Yeah,
at
me
that.
either.
Okay, when was that done?
About 2 weeks ago, and I drove it that day, and I also drove it just last week. And it looks really nice. Sarah, you said you had some comments on that?
I had a resident thank us for
Yeah.
that, yes.
Did
It
they
was pretty bad before.
Yeah. it
They
was.
wouldn't even let their kids ride the bikes on it because it was so bad, so they were happy.
Did they shoulder it right away too? That isn't good.
Is there supposed to be shouldering? There is, isn't
Yeah,
there?
it wasn't good.
All right. Keeping track. Also, the, there's a bunch of other trees and stuff. I've been harping at those guys to come back to the town of Lake Mills. We'll see how that goes.
I've been seeing them stumbling around, but
Any other road work questions or concerns?
You had these, are you doing anything with them?
Well, I don't know. We got these bids that he dropped last time he was here. I guess, you guys want to look at them?
We've got them.
I got it.
yeah.
You got them all?
We looked at them at board review too.
I guess we better wait and see how we come out on the
Yeah.
rest of this
I don't
stuff.
think we have a whole lot of money left.
Yeah, a couple of things that come to mind, hope that, you know, would be, these get a little bit pricey, and I don't know, you know, is chip sealing gonna save that road? I don't know, but,
What, Hope Lake or Crossman?
yeah, either one.
Okay.
Um,
You were the one who brought it up.
yeah, I know, and something needs to be done, you know, we need to patch up those cracks because they just getting deeper and wider every year. And then, you know, chip seal the whole thing. But a couple of things, you know, wouldn't be a bad idea is wedge over the culvert on Fayetteville Road, wedge over the culvert on Cool Road, and have somebody come in and grind that horrible bump off the culvert on Hope Lake Road and re-blacktop it, because that That is, Jay, I think you don't like with the snowplow either, but I usually have to pick my tools up out of the back of my truck when I go down that road.
All right.
And those are lower dollar value things that wouldn't hurt if they were looked at.
Okay, all right. Let's get through these next couple of weeks and get the rest of this work done, and we'll
Yes.
know a little bit better where we're at in our budget.
You can always use it for trim trees.
Yeah.
Lots of growth this year.
Item P, update on loan for construction work, discussion and decision.
That's another thing that could be in the mailbox. I don't know. I put in the request for the packet. I forget the exact dollar amount, but it was what we talked about with all of the work, including the ditching on Newville
Okay.
Road. And yeah, so it's in process.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Item 10, new business. Discussion and decision on approval of stormwater management plan and reduction of the line of credit provided for Shorewood Hills North Phase 3 development. This is kind of a housekeeping thing. When we met and walked the property July, what was it? Can't remember.
Yeah.
We did not officially approve the stormwater management plan, and I wanted that handled at one of our regular meetings. So I would motion to approve the stormwater management plan put forth for Shorewood Hills North Phase 3.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the management plan, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Check that off your list.
I did do the improvements to the southwest pond, if you're interested.
And,
That Mike made, there was an elevation bust on our part, so that berm got raised.
Oh,
And restored and mulched and everything right away.
so that wasn't somebody digging a basement?
Is that the lot 69 item that he's got on here?
No,
No?
no, that would have been
Oh, you said the pond.
southwest pond, maybe B as in boy, southwest.
Yep, by lot 73.
Yes.
Yeah, because where the backhoe and dozer were running, that was lot 17, right?
That's a new house going in.
That is a new house.
Did you see what they did with the topsoil?
I heard rumors of a big hole because the sewer's fairly deep in that spot.
Well, they kind of pushed it across to a real nice concentrated water flow. I saw that right away. It's like, no.
So that's
Really?
one of the concerns that building inspections.
Yeah, because you're trying to establish that concentrated flow, and I realized, just guessing by driving by, what they were doing was they cleared the topsoil off so they could displace some of the fill. But again, it was wrong. You just take a look at it in the daylight, Jay, you're not going to be happy. It's just...
No jurisdiction.
Yeah, you don't, but I saw you guys out there working so hard, and we were adamant, when we walked in, and Hope, take a look at it. I saw it this afternoon.
I don't have any comments at this point.
Yeah,
Hopefully they'll-
That's really a good thing.
just...
We'll deal with it.
Right.
So, by state statute, we must reduce the line of credit we demanded from him in the beginning, and guess we have an email to that effect from our attorney. You have that email?
From Mark?
Yeah, from Mark, yeah. Do you have it? Oh,
Well, that's a letter, yeah.
That's the letter.
Is that the one? No, this is from Jay's attorney.
Can you pull that email up?
Maybe.
In the meantime, I believe the signs have come into Lang. I don't think they've been placed yet, have they?
No.
They were picked up approximately 10 days ago.
Yeah, so I think he's waiting to hear from me about the posts and the caps and all that stuff. It's just getting hot in here?
No.
Is that this one, maybe? What does it say? Are you sure I have this?
Maybe not. I think I sent it to you.
Oh.
Sorry, we gotta talk all the time. Go back, it's July.
Well, I'm trying to, but I don't have a full screen here. I'm not sure I can. I don't know how to.
Well, anyway, we need to reduce that line of credit.
I do, yeah, you know that you say that, I do remember seeing
Yeah.
something,
So
and
is this the right number to be using?
Yep, yep. We would still hold 10%.
yeah, I just don't have.
Anyway, we can dig that up. But I would motion to reduce the line of credit to 10%.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Just how we go forward, Jay, with our building inspector is another story, so. Nothing's ever easy, right? Not in a town like this.
Everybody do it as it was.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, thank you.
See you later.
Item B, discussion on potential transfer of land in Korth Highlands to the town. I had a phone call from one of the Korth relatives who has a lot in the Korth Highlands at the very end of the road. They are beginning to entertain the idea of building on that lot. They also own a lot across the road. And if you drive up there now, it's just a big pile of brush and weeds. But they were asking if we would be interested in them transferring some of that land so that we could have a proper cul-de-sac there. I'm not
Is this-
exactly sure.
Now, which,
So you're talking the west end?
down...
The east end.
Oh, so
East end,
the-
okay.
the garbage trucks and all that have trouble,
Yep,
you have to back
yep,
up and down.
Yeah,
Now, isn't, actually, we'd have to look at the...
we have to look at the
because
land.
Isn't there, actually, that road is supposed to connect, isn't it?
I don't know that.
To what?
I don't know that.
Elm Point Road.
Huh.
Seems...
Where does
to
it
be-
connect? Where does it go through?
Not sure,
Through
but,
some pond?
well, let's talk mitigation here
Yeah.
now. I'm pretty, I don't know, we'd have to look at the red book, but I think there's...
I just asked Sarah to put it on the agenda because I wasn't sure, if there's an opportunity for us to gain a little property and to make a proper cul-de-sac there. I wasn't sure how any of it was zoned or plotted. And I wasn't sure of the need for a turnaround there. They were indicating to me that they would like to build on the lakeside lot, but they have no intention of building on the lot on the other side of the road. They'd like to hang on to that. We talked a little bit about strategies for protection of that lot into perpetuity. I just thought you guys should be informed of it so that you could take a look at it and see what you think.
Yeah, we just would have to research it out because somewhere along the line, it seems to me there's something that's...
I knew your memory was going to be good. Well, let's just put this on the agenda for next month. It's nothing that's burning down the house, and we could take a look at it.
Can we, I know this isn't on the agenda, but I need a new computer. It's,
I already told you.
no,
go
I know
get it.
you told me to, but no, seriously, it's at the point now where if it shuts itself off and it has no battery, so it does that a lot.
It's gonna be gone.
I have to put it into safe mode to get it to boot back.
That would be
Unofficial.
board expense approved.
Yeah, that's board
expense.
expense, yeah, exactly.
I am afraid every time it shuts itself off that it's not coming back, so It's pretty bad.
Well, see if you can pull it up as long as you're coming this far.
Yeah. You gotta be close here, right?
Yeah, you're
There's
there.
the triangle.
There it is, right there.
But it doesn't come back to,
It doesn't come back to Elm Point.
Not quite.
yeah, and I don't know, Marty, what's between there and Elm Point Road?
Actually, there's,
A lot.
yeah, like Mary Graves lot.
Graves lot.
And, there's one of those Korth cottages, there, along with that Sullivan house. You can actually walk from the end of the Elm Point down, but you go through, like grass or like somebody's yard, or,
You know, we
I don't know if
have,
there's a real defined right-of-way, because people probably put up, there's Graves have a cottage there and a house.
we have a proper cul-de-sac at the other end. It's not all completely paved, but I thought it was worth bringing up to you guys so you
Yeah.
can take a look at it and
It's a nice
see.
spot.
I don't know where you would connect with Elm Point Road unless you
We'd have to
made
acquire
a little
land. We
curve
don't,
and use somebody's driveway.
and we don't have an access to. But the point is, if we were to be given some land there to make
So
a
what is
proper cul-de-sac,
Is it that little thing to the left at the end there? Is that what they're talking about giving? Or
you
is
see
it-
the triangle? And then you see the road goes down
Oh,
from
yeah, yeah,
there?
the triangle, yeah.
Right there is
Right,
where
right,
the
so
cul-de-sac.
there's right to the
Talking about
left.
Stuff right to the left.
Is that what they're talking about giving up?
Well, they
Oh, this
They
one?
own that
right
lot,
there.
There you go.
they own that lot, and they own the other one.
The one next to it?
No, on the other side, the
Other
lake side.
Oh, okay.
So there would be an opportunity there to, I don't know. I just
They
want,
want it to come right
not
here.
very often does somebody call up and say they want to donate some land to the town of Lake Mills. I thought you should know about it. Guess we'll go from there. They're going to have it surveyed. They're thinking about starting a lot, starting a house on that lake lot, and so we'll just wait and see what happens.
That is a very, very difficult plowing spot.
Yeah, I could but
If
imagine.
it would be a year-round person at the end of that road, it would be appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay, ongoing discussion. Item C, board expense sheet approval. Sarah, go and get a new computer before
Okay.
something happens.
Okay.
I motion.
How's the new police laptop working?
Great, good.
Yeah, that's a nice investment.
Well, and I think that one is a Dell. I did look at getting something, if we know that one works, but I don't know how he did that without the sales tax.
Government.
Government
or did
needed
he
sales
do-
tax.
No, I know, but did he ordered that on Amazon, right?
I believe so.
Right, that's right. He and I got that set up that
There's a government
doesn't have
account.
sales tax now, right?
Yeah, we have a
But
government
then I kind of would like to have some help with transferring data from this onto something new. I'm not feeling confident in my abilities to do that, which is why I was going to do like a Geek Squad type of thing. Unless somebody here has a resource for a good computer person that's local that could help me with that, that's fine too. I do know we have the place that used to be up by Jimmy John's she actually lives in the town of Lake Mills and just took her business back home with her. Could try that.
Yeah, why don't you contact her?
Okay.
Yeah, there, Tom Burns too, I know he was, didn't
Yeah,
he?
Tom would probably do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
used to teach
Oh, really?
Yeah,
All right.
computers, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Good thought.
Okay.
Anybody else have an
Only one for
expense
today.
sheet? On to
right.
correspondence.
I got a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Jefferson County is doing their 5-year update on their multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan and is asking if we, A, would like to participate, and B, if we would like to have somebody more involved on the steering committee. Donna Hogum. Rock Lake Improvement Association is doing their annual meeting on August 19th at 10 a.m. and they've asked for one of our Lake Patrol officers to participate in that.
Already assigned.
Okay, great. We have a couple of pieces of correspondence related to a potential, probable public hearing on NatureLink WPDES permit. The DNR is considering a permit for Dean's Eggs NatureLink Farms, and so they were asking if we would be able to host a public hearing, and I responded that I didn't think we'd have the space for it, and he said, "What do you mean?" So I told him about the problems that happened a couple of years ago with the Citizens for a Better Environment Coalition and all of those things. So I think he's going to go to the municipal building. That meeting would possibly, if it's coming, would be at the end of August. August 31st was the date he had in mind, but it is not set.
And they were going to also approach town of Ashland also, I'm assuming, because that's really town of Ashland.
They just were looking for space. And I guess since we're down the road, that's what they went with. I don't know.
But yeah, that's a good choice.
The Highway 134 reconstruction project, I get a weekly update on this. So as of Friday, the completed work was stripping of the topsoil, and actually that says work completed this week, and it may begin on Saturday. For next week, contractors plan to work on stripping topsoil, earthwork, and placing stone. So that's where 134 is. The Jefferson County Planning and Zoning Committee, I was just letting you know that they did a text amendment to shoreland provisions that were in accordance with state legislation that happened in the spring of last year, I guess. So they were just updating that. And there's a copy of it here for us.
Oh, good.
I have some PACER, education opportunities, if you want to look at that. We have this Baxter and Woodman Engineers newsletter that comes to us periodically. The Fall Town and Village Workshops schedule is out, if anybody wants to go to those, done by the UW Extension. Humane Officer Training coming in September. A general flyer from a company that does industrial products of all sorts of things. Just thought I would keep that in hand for mowers or whatnot. Then we got a unsolicited update, or just, I guess probably we're just still on their list. The CPA firm that Jim Colgrove contacted back when I first got started and we were talking about an audit, sent us some information. So they want us to know they still exist and they're willing to help us if we want it. And then Safe Built has been sending out this postcard. I've had several of them now. I think there's different names on them, but about their remote plan review. And that's coming soon, I think, right? All the permits will be online.
Somebody put this in with they paid their ticket. How is that sign ever been replaced? And then that's the parking lot.
Where is it?
I think it's on the north side of highway, on the north end.
Yeah, it must be Park Lane.
It is? Didn't you just
Or
not
is,
cover that?
I don't know, is it across the street? I don't know where it would be. It just,
Well, if it,
Guess we'll be doing a little windshielding.
Well, the only one way we have is Park Lane.
That's it, yeah.
well, there's a name on the bottom.
well, that's who paid the ticket and his address
Okay.
and stuff.
He just got to get his licks in, huh?
Yeah, I just,
Keep off the grass. Okay.
It's
I'll follow up on
possible
that.
it's not even our jurisdiction. I get emails
Might be
and
county.
calls all the time. Why didn't you tell us about this? Well, that's county, or that's city, or whatever it is. So
Can I have this?
sure.
Off your desk.
Yeah.
I'll drive through there and make sure we didn't have a faulty
Okay.
sign. I'm pretty proud of our signs. They're all up to snuff.
that's it.
Well, that's enough.
Not too bad.
All right. Meeting scheduled. September 5th, the Planning Commission at 8 o'clock. September 5th, Joint Rock Lake at 6. September 12th, town board meeting, 8 p.m.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. Meeting is adjourned.